and this here may be tough to you. Snack cake to me, yeah, more hostess. This been overdue forever. Asked me when it was dropping, said never. Should've made you cut the feta, but I designed it Freemason Margiela.
What's good, Shellitronnn here, the most spoke, no joking. I'm back at again with a brand new video, and won't bluff. This is the moment that I've been waiting for. This moment that y'all been waiting for. I think we've all been waiting for David Tepper to hear what he had to say. We all know he had like a mini press conference, and he talked a little bit to a few people and a few reporters since he bought the team and leading up to it becoming official just last month. And we've been waiting to hear exactly what David Tepper would say in an actual full presser as the new owner of the Carolina Panthers. And earlier today, he just had his press conference and he touched on a few things. I know you saw the title of the video here. We'll get to that a little bit later in the video, and I have a lot of opinions on that. I could pander, but you definitely want to hear what I have to say about this, because I'm going to have to explain this in a way very, very clearly, and we'll get to that. So first off, he mentioned the stadium. They're asking about, what kind of things would you want to change? What are your, you have capital to bring into the city, to the team. What things do you see being easily changeable that you want to make sort of, not immediately, but in the near future? And one of the biggest things he talked about was field renovations or just field changes. He mentioned new practice facilities. He didn't say whether he wanted to keep them in North Carolina. He did say that maybe he could do something in South Carolina. I mean, we may be thinking about Wofford, Greenville, maybe, Fort Mill. It would not surprise me at all if we move our practice fields, maybe even the Panthers HQ, to Fort Mill, Greenville, something like that. Somewhere not too far, but not exactly in Charlotte. Move the HQ and the practice facilities. You have a big area that has the practice facilities, the HQ, some shops, and some other things for fan experiences in South Carolina for the South Carolina fans. So it's not just all centered around in one area in uptown Charlotte, which is cool. But it's kind of cool that we have a two-state team, so we can have something to look at in North Carolina and stuff to look at in South Carolina. It's in the same general area, but the radius of the reach of the team gets significantly wider. But that's a two-parter, because if you move the HQ and the practice fields away from Charlotte, there's a lot of other space, which either equals like VIP parking, maybe even some bigger tailgating. There's a lot you can do. If you move that stuff out of the area, you just open up a wide array of space to do any number of activities. That can include adding more jobs to the city, adding more activities for the team. So you just doubled, maybe even doubled the space basically, but maybe even tripled or quadrupled the amount of revenue you can bring to the city, amount of jobs you can bring to the area by moving the HQ and practice fields. And you also widen the scope and the range of fans that can experience things. I don't know what you can put in that area that has practice fields and the HQ there now, but there's a lot you can do. I don't know the exact amount of space, but there's a ton you can do with that space. Parking's a big thing, and maybe even, like I said, tailgating, maybe fan experiences. He also mentioned that he says he deeply believes there should be high school games, high school championships played on the field, and concerts, which makes me believe maybe the field is going to be turned to turf. I'm not sure. I kind of like that we play on dirt, but turf is still cool. Obviously, high school championships, I mean, it's all about bringing more revenue and making sure that the field is, I guess, is more used, and there's more value in having events there. Like, if you go by a restaurant, you like driving in your city or driving in a new city, if you're on vacation or just like you're just passing through somewhere and you see a restaurant with no cars in front of it, you're like, I mean, it could have the best food ever, but if you don't see anyone in the parking lot, you're probably thinking to yourself, they can't be that good, right? If they don't have anybody, if there's nothing popping off at this place, they're probably not that great. Well, that's kind of the same thought process I'm feeling from David Tepper here. He's thinking, look, we can build up our own value by having more events here. If we can bring more things here, then other people will say, wait a second, there's events going on here, which means if they're pulling in people for these events, then we can too. more people want to do their events, concerts, games, different kind of things like that, the value goes up, and that's more revenue for the city. He talked about, well, if you're a billionaire owner, why are you getting tax dollars from the city, from the people, from the constituents? He talked about how he brings in money to the economy, and which brings in more tax dollars for the city. And if he and the states can split the taxes and split that revenue stream, then he's able to do more with the money, and the state's able to do more with the money, and they can pull it all together rather than it all being just on him. And I think that's a really good way of seeing a long-term picture for the growth, expansion, and just the economic landscape of what is, I think, what are we, a top 5 growing city in the United States, or at least on the East. Charlotte is definitely growing, man. I think are we the biggest or the second biggest banking city in America? I think it's the biggest. But either way, I really do like the long-term business acumen of David Tepper, and I mean, if you gotta have something like that if you're one of the best hedge fund managers in the world. That kind of covers it for the field, except, oh yeah, the logo at midfield. He did not mention this, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I won't say any names, and I won't say too many details, but I do have a source. Now, I know what you're thinking right now. This dude, this kid on YouTube got a source. I do have a source in the Panthers organization that said that the midfield logo will definitely be changed to the Panther, to the actual Carolina Panthers logo. That will be changed. It will no longer be the NFL shield. I was told this in May 30th, along with, I was also told about the statue. I was told not to say anything about that until July, until David Tepper was actually signed and everything was finalized. And I'll get into that here in a second, but you can bet that. You can definitely bet that right now. The logo will be changed, and I'll get to the statue here in a second. He didn't mention MLS. He said that football is his favorite sport and he loves baseball, but David Tepper's really been mentioning and hinting at bringing soccer to Charlotte, not just in this press conference, but in a few others. He is pretty dead set on making sure, or expanding the popularity of soccer, which, if you can actually bring a soccer team to a city and be one of the first, not the first, but actually get it to be profitable, that's a lot of money, and that's a pretty nice little strong stranglehold on a cornered market, because I don't even know what the closest soccer team is. Is it the DC team? I don't know. I don't care about soccer. But that's a topic I want to leave for a later day, because I want to get into this one, the topic of the Jerry Richardson statue in front of the north gate of the stadium. And like I said earlier, I was told about this back in May, but was told not to talk about it at all until David Tepper actually had his own press conference, so I wouldn't be the one to, I wouldn't be breaking the news or anything. Jerry Richardson had it in the contract that the statue should stay in the event of a team sale. And look, I know the first reaction is, yo, JR the big cat, he did something really bad, which he did. He did something really bad, horrible, disgusting, and really, really terrible. So anything that's to do with Jerry Richardson, get rid of it. Get rid of the statue. The statue all the statue shows is that he was a molester. He wasn't even a molester. I mean, it was sexual misconduct. That's not cool. I won't even get into like levels of that kind of stuff. But this is no tolerance at all for anything like that, man. And although he did some very terrible things, are we just gonna pretend that he never did any good for the city, for the team, for both North and South Carolina? He brought an NFL team to a very small market, an extremely small market, and it's so hard for me to just say, look, man, get rid of the statue. Look, yeah, he had the sexual misconduct. He was catcalling. He was being racist to a black man. We gotta get rid of everything. I know that's the knee-jerk reaction to have. Get rid of all of that. But I just want to say, didn't he do a lot of good for the community? What good does tearing down the statue actually do? I know it's a symbolic thing, and I saw people talk about, well, when you walk by that statue, all it's gonna do is remind you of all the bad that Jerry did. But it's not like all of a sudden that statue only represents and is only a metaphor for those terrible, terrible mistakes the dude made. And if the statue only represents the sexual misconduct and the racist comments now, then what are your thoughts on literally just about every other national monument that we have in this country? Maybe put a statue of other people around the other gates, or have like a pedestal of players lifted above Jerry Richardson, so that we show that the team and our team greats are at a higher level, and we respect them more than we respect the perceived, I guess, legacy of Jerry now. But I just don't see what tearing that down actually does. Are we just gonna forget? Are we just gonna actually just forget? Okay, now the statue's gone. Okay, so Jerry Richardson never happened, and everything's good now. I don't see it. I think people are still gonna talk about it. We're still gonna be known for that for a few more years, and it's not like if you don't see the statue, people just forget about it. I don't know, man. That's how I feel about it. What do you think, man? What do you think about this whole situation with our new owner, David Tepper? What are your thoughts on the field, the logo, the new practice facilities possibly being in South Carolina, expanding our fan base, maybe expanding the experience in Charlotte as well as South Carolina? And obviously, what are your thoughts on the statue? I don't have to ask that. You're going to give me those thoughts either way. Let me know in the comments below or at my Twitter, @Shellitronnn, same as the channel name, bro. You already know to do that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Being told y'all I been the man. Being told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.